Dear Horror Movie Talk listeners, I don't want to alarm you, but there could be a bye-bye man or bye-bye men in your house right now. Please, exercise caution, and for the love of God, don't think or say the name bye-bye man. No, really. Don't think it, and also don't say it. Okay, now imagine there's intro music coming in. Hello, and welcome to Horror Movie Talk, an opinionated and accidentally funny horror movie review show. Your panel of expert hosts each week are Professor David Day, the foremost expert in scare no-nos. New theatrical releases always get priority, but we also review older horror movies, both good and horrible. I'm David Day, and today I'm coming at you live from Quarantine Zone Central at my house, where I don't have any of the recording gear necessary. But fear not, I'll be making up all of the sounds that you would normally hear on our soundboard, which resides at Bryce's house, where he is, probably recording an episode as well. I don't know. It's very hard to tell. All communication has been cut. If you would like to head on over to our website, horrormovietalk.com, you can find links to all of our social media, as well as full written-up reviews. Also, we're going to be having Keith Harris's new post about the Candyman, old versus new, which is going to be huge, and it's going to take me tons of time to fiddle with and get up on the site. So check our site for that. That'll be under the blogs section. We post new episodes every single Wednesday, so make sure to subscribe and leave a rating on Apple Podcasts. That really helps us out. I don't know if we've gotten any of those recently. Let me take a look here and see if we do have any more. The iTunes ratings help us out a whole lot, especially during this time of our times. We're with the COVID and whatnot. I just want to take a moment to remind you guys to please be safe and don't go outside and talk to people or touch them. And if you do, just yell at them from far away. We did get a new review. Let's see here. It's Oh the Horror 256. He says, or she says, discovered this podcast over at the Reddit horror Discord server and really enjoyed it. Looking forward to listening to more episodes. Thank you so much, Oh the Horror 256. As I said, we are both in quarantine today, but I've still got a great show for you today on what day is it today? I can't remember. Anyway, today, we will be talking about Bye Bye Man. We'll start out by giving a brief review and our score for the movie. We score on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a miserable dredge where it makes you angry, 5 being an average film that hits all the expected marks, and 10 being so good that it transcends genre boundaries and should probably win an award, but it won't because it's a horror movie. After I give my score, I'll get into spoilers and take a deeper dive into what I liked and hated about the film. And later in this episode, we will be doing taglines. And by we, I just mean me. Just turn that W upside down. So, as I said, we watched Bye Bye Man on Netflix because our Swedish superfan Magnus has had a boner for this for over a year now. He's been bothering us. And I don't know. I think we've used his handsome face and his name enough on the show where he gets to he gets a little carte blanche here and there. So the one unique thing about our watching of this, we both Bryce watched this at his house. And I watched it at my house, but both at the same time over the same stream, utilizing an app on Google Chrome called Netflix Party. And we sent a link out on our social media where fans could click the link and watch it in real time with us. And it has a sidebar that has a chat feature. And so using that, we were able to point and laugh at all the different goofy parts of this super, super goofy movie. So I'm not sure what kind of perverse pleasure Magnus gets out of this, but here it goes. Bye Bye Man is a story about a group of friends in college. One of these friends accidentally stumbles upon an old chifforobe. And by he stumbled upon an old nightstand with a weird lining in the drawer that said, let's see, it said "Don't think it, don't say it" scrawled all over it in this line on the liner for this drawer. And upon removing the liner, he sees the words "Bye Bye Man" eerily etched on the into the wood of the drawer. Well, I'm so sorry that I've told you about the Bye Bye Man, because now you are infected with the mind worm and will surely die, Horror Movie Talk listeners. What happens following this is the kids are nefariously picked off one by one by virtue of their very own actions. So Bye Bye Man is kind of a by-the-books thinking man slasher. I say that, I use the terminology thinking man pretty loosely. It's not like a straight up, this isn't straight up Friday the 13th material or something like that. This is more of a Nightmare on Elm Street gore or kind of thing. It has a spooky looking bye guy and a plot that's only a couple feet deep. That being said, it was a blast to watch on Netflix Party with 6 or 7 HMT fans poking fun at all the goofy parts. I wasn't bothered by much in this movie, except the acting was bad, like capital B, capital A, capital D, bad. But the editing and direction kind of covered for the bad acting. So the result, I don't know. I don't feel a whole lot I do not feel a whole lot about this movie. It kind of sits in that super average, not bad, but not good zone that so many movies do. I think I give this a 5 out of 10. My guess is you're going to get a lower score from Bryce, but I don't really have any idea. If you're not aware, Bryce, I think, is recording his own episode. Like I said, I haven't had any communication with him except over Netflix Party, and for some reason we can't get the recording thing to work over Skype or WebEx or anything like that right now. Anyway, so I give this movie I give Bye Bye Man a 5 out of 10. It's totally average to me. To be honest with you, it was probably saved quite a bit by Netflix Party, and all the people talking about all the goofy parts as they happen. So, yeah. So with that, let's get into the mid-roll. Guys, we put out a free podcast, right? This is just free to everyone, and so it's hard to keep the lights on over here, basically. And so one of the solutions we have for that is Patreon. So if you want to head on over to our website, horrormovietalk.com, up in the top right corner, there's a button there's 2 buttons that'll help you support us. One of them is Patreon. If you click that one and browse through the different levels of patronage that you can choose from, then you can support us directly with real money from your hard-earned bank account, and we certainly appreciate that. Jason C just recently became a Too Spoopy For You member of our Patreon. And Jason, I just wanted to reach out to you and say thank you so much for supporting the show. Anything that we can do for our Patreon members, we will bend over backwards to make sure it happens. So, and that includes Jason, who I can only assume fucks real hard, because he's a Patreon supporter. So. And they typically, my experience with them is they fuck hard. Josh K, he fucks pretty hard. Gabrielle K, she also fucks pretty hard. They all, you know what, I mean, to be honest with you, they all fuck pretty hard. Kitty fucks hard, all the way down the line. These are just the most recent ones. I'm sorry to our long-standing patrons. I don't have a list in front of me. Anyway, you can also support the podcast by buying anything, any movie or product on Amazon. If you click through the green button in the header of our website, it says buy stuff on Amazon. If you bookmark the page that you land on after clicking that button and use it every time you surf Amazon during this time where you're undoubtedly using Amazon a lot, it will give us a bunch of money every time you buy something following clicking through that link. So, you know, help us out that way. Also, check out our resident artist, Dustin Goebel, who is a professional artist who fucks hard. He also takes commissions for artwork from HMT fans, so contact him at DGOEBEL00 on Instagram and make your artistic dreams come true. Make sure to tell him HMT sent you. You know what, guys? So last week for the Taking of Deborah Logan's episode, I don't know if you saw it, but the artwork for that one was really garbage. It was very, very bad. We commissioned so to let you know, it was not Dustin's art, but it was kind of like, I mean, I don't want to rag on it too hard because we did commission it from, I assume, an artist. His name was Ben B, that we found through like kind of like an Upwork sort of thing, and so I don't know. He gave us like this stick figure Deborah Logan with a bunch of snakes, and she says something like, "Sup, I'm Debbie." Like she has a speech bubble. It says, "Sup, I'm Debbie, hiss." And then one of the snakes is saying hiss, and it has a really lame like Broadway typeface for HM. I don't know. It just looks like garbage. And that episode really suffered because of it, I think. It did not get the attention that normal episodes with Dustin's artwork gets on them. So do me a favor right now. Help me out. Head on over to Dustin's Instagram. That's at DGOEBEL00 on Instagram. DGOBEL00 on Instagram. Head over there and just spam the shit out of his pictures and just be like, HMT fucking sent me here. Whoa! You know, let him know that HMT listeners fuck hard and support him. So with that, let's get into spoilers. Spoilers. Like I said, I don't have any way to change the effects. I don't have any of our normal recording gear, none of the drops or anything like that. I just assume that I'm supposed to make the sounds with my mouth. So let me know how I did, and you know, if I really embarrassed myself, well, so be it. Let me have a sip of my coffee here. So, spoilers for Bye Bye Man. I'm just gonna kind of wing this and tell you how I remember it. I was not impaired in any way while watching this movie, which didn't seem to help in remembering any part of it. It was just very by the books and kind of boring, but it had some decent suspense. It kind of starts out, like I said, it starts out with this like frat party or sorority party. I'm not sure. I think it was a frat party. And there's this old hot uncle who swings by this frat party with his daughter, with his like 7-year-old daughter. I felt so sorry for this little kid walking around through this frat party just kind of alone. Anyway, she heads on upstairs, and she goes into one of these empty rooms, and she finds this nightstand that's kind of it's a creepy nightstand, and it drops a quarter out of the back, and so that like it like perks her up. She's like, what's up with this nightstand dropping quarters? She heads on over to it, opens the drawer, sees some stuff written on it, picks up the quarter, and then kind of skedaddles. Later on, one of the main character of the movie stumbles upon this same nightstand, looks inside, and finds the words "Bye Bye Man" written. Now he's been infected, right? So now that he's read the words "Bye Bye Man," and you're not supposed to think it or say it, but it's like an earbug. It's once it's in your head, once you're not supposed to do something, you do it a million times more, right? So he starts thinking about it and saying it, and he starts thinking about it and saying it to other people. Then there's this episode's gonna be so fucking gay. Sorry. I'm not supposed to use gay as a derogatory term. This episode's so heterosexual. I can't believe how fucking poorly heterosexual this episode is going to be. It's going to be bad. So they have a seance later because weird stuff starts happening around the house. There's some scratching outside. The bricks on the outside of the house start having like scratches like on them, and it's like, oh shit. I hope that I hope the brick demon doesn't swing through here and scratch up my bricks anymore. So the main character starts getting freaked out. He starts seeing things that aren't really there. They're like figments of his imagination that he'll snap into and out of, right? So it's very similar to Nightmare on Elm Street, where you're not sure whether or not you're in a dream. Well, this is essentially exactly that, except he's just not sure whether this is a waking dream or not. That's the only difference between Nightmare on Elm Street and Bye Bye Man. In fact, Nightmare on Elm Street's so Freddy is very similar in character design to Bye Bye Man, except Bye Bye Man has like an inside out pit bull that hangs out with him. But we'll get into that a little bit later. So they have a seance. There's this one of the quote-unquote spiritual chicks knows how to read people's aura or something, so she holds this seance, and spooky shit happens. To be honest with you, the jump scares in this movie are pretty good. It gets them right for being a movie that features so many actors and actresses who are really bad. It does get a lot of things right, in my opinion. And one of them is like the tone. The tone is pretty good. The pacing and the direction is pretty good, and the editing is all really good. So I mean, while you do have something it's not a great final product, and it's certainly not very original, you do have a pretty cohesive movie that it's not throwing you for any loops or anything like that, and there are some interesting little bits and pieces in there. Anyway, so eventually, everybody who he's infected with this with the name Bye Bye Man begins to see and hear things that just aren't there, right? So they'll see, like, I don't know. This is just, I can't remember specific examples. I wasn't supposed to be emceeing this show, so I didn't take copious notes, like I'm sure you'll get out of Bryce's Bye Bye Man episode, which will be far superior to this one. But but let's just say, for example, one of the things that, if you are infected with Bye Bye Man, then you might see something like your neighbor running at you with a pitchfork, ready to stab you in the chest with the pitchfork. But in reality, they're running up to you with like like a plate of cupcakes, right? So you anticipate and prepare for the pitchfork in the chest by, I don't know, pulling your sidearm out and popping them in the head. And then they're laying there, with a graze, a bullet graze in their jaw, and they're just like, I just wanted to give you some cupcakes. And you're like, oh no, my worst dreams came true. I thought I was being attacked with a pitchfork, but really they were trying to offer me cupcakes. Spooky premise, right? So you can never trust, once you've been infected with the bye-bye, you can never really trust what you're seeing or hearing. And so as time progresses, our main character begins to realize this. It's basically, don't trust what you see, hear, experience, right? Automatically assume that anything bad that's going to happen is is a figment of your waking imagination. And that's how he starts to defeat the Bye-Bye Man, right? So I should mention that there is like a preamble to this whole thing, right? So there's like a 1950s version of the Bye-Bye outbreak that occurs. And in this outbreak, all we really get to see is, I assume, the main protagonist of the 1950s Bye-Bye outbreak running around and killing everyone with a shotgun. Everyone he knows, his daughter, his wife, his neighbor, because he's talked to all these people about Bye-Bye Man, and he's made the realization that the only way to get rid of Bye-Bye Man is to get rid of everyone who knows about Bye-Bye Man. So it's kind of like Candyman, if you think about it. Speaking of Candyman and Keith's post, it's very similar. Once you intone the name of Bye-Bye Man or Candyman, he's out to get you. Now you got a mark on your head. And the only difference is, Bye-Bye Man, you can infect other people, right? So, my daughter's entering the room. Hey, Charlotte. So once you've been once you've infected other people with Bye-Bye Man, they can, it spreads like a pandemic. Oh, wow. What a great movie. Anyway, so he realizes this, and all of the other people really have kind of offed themselves. One girl walks into a train because that was actually a pretty good part. She sees a car like broken down on the train tracks, right? And her immediate reaction is, I gotta go save those people whose car is broken down on the train tracks. So she runs over to help them. Bam, gets hit by a train. and the conductor from the train is one of the best parts of this movie. Like, there's all these jump shots, right? So she's running towards the train. She's standing in the middle of the train tracks, and she's trying to help these not real people out of this car, and it keeps jumping back. The shot keeps jumping between her and the train, her and the train, her and the train. And one of the last shots of the train has the conductor who goes, "Oh no!" She's like, "No, please God, I don't want to hit you." And it was brilliant. Everybody in Netflix party LOL'd appropriately. I laughed out loud during that moment. Anyway, so all of the protagonists' friends have kind of offed themselves at this point. And so in an attempt to end the Bye-Bye Man infection, he realizes, hey, the only way for me to do this is to kill myself. So that's basically what he does. But then there's what about the little girl in the ending thing? Because she still has the Bye-Bye Man coin that I mentioned her finding at the start of the frat party. So that's kind of the spoilers for Bye-Bye Man. It's free on Netflix to watch right now, So my final recommendations is, like, if this sounds like goofy fun, it is. It's kind of goofy. It's kind of fun. I don't feel particularly one way or the other about it. If you have somebody to watch this with during this quarantine, then by all means, watch Bye-Bye Man. It's a lot of fun. Well, it's not a lot of fun, but you get what I mean. So with that, let's get into taglines. Oh no! I'm Shelley Duvall being attacked by Jack Nicholson. Nicholson. Oh no! Rawr! I'm Jack Nicholson attacking Shelley Duvall. Rawr! So, if you don't know, Taglines is a game where, listen, I know how this episode sounds. If this is the first time you've listened to Horror Movie Talk, first of all, be aware this is April 1st, and second of all, go back and listen to some of our other episodes, because we're good, all right? It's good stuff, normally. I'm just saying. So Taglines is a bit where we come up with funny, bad, or better taglines for the movie that we've just watched. I guarantee these are bad. So here we go. Here's my first tagline. Bye, man. He's got no plan, but say or think his name, and a train will have your name on its cattle guard. Bye-Bye Man. That was awful. Okay. This is so much harder to do just as a one-person band. Oh my gosh. Okay. Tagline number 2. Here we go. Bye-bye, love. Bye-bye, happiness. Hello, loneliness. I think I'm gonna cry. I think I'm gonna die. Yeah, so that was just really ripped off of that Bye-bye song. And then my third and final tagline is just never trust a Swede. All right? So, Magnus, I don't know why you did this to us, but I can tell you that I love you, man. And keep on doing all those I wish I got to talk to you. I think Bryce might be interviewing Magnus in his episode. I'm not sure, but I really wish I got to talk to you. I'm super bummed that I didn't get to, so we're going to have to make sure that happens. So with that is my episode on Bye Bye Man. Thank you so much for listening. This is Happy April Fool's Day. I hope you guys are doing well in your quarantine, and do take it seriously. I mentioned this in our last episode. The stakes here are a loved one dying, or someone else's loved one dying. So, take it seriously. Help out your neighbors. Help out your local theaters. It's really important to do everything you can in your community right now to, come together and make sure we all get through this safely and happily. And a lot of people are really stressed out right now. I know I'm really, really stressed out right now. And I'll probably talk to Bryce a little bit about that on the Afterpod, which is a podcast that we do on our Patreon. That's exclusive to Patreon. I'm just real stressed out right now, and I know a lot of other people are too. So, do everything you can to help everybody out. If you'd like to help us out, you can do so by becoming a Patreon member. You can also click through our Amazon Associates link. Make sure you, if you want to stream some horror right now, you can do so by going to Shudder, that's SHUDDER.com, and enter HMT at checkout to get 30 days of free streaming horror right now. So do that, and stay safe. And special thanks to Magnus for bearing with us for over a year to get to his episode. We sure do appreciate it. And with that, I hope you guys have a really good week, and I hope things start getting better. Love you guys. Bye-bye.